welcome to another edition of Tech Tuesday presented by Delta Media Group, where we know that Back to the Future is really the only one that got time travel right. I mean, this, tomorrow war, whatever. I'm telling you, they're just making things up as they go along now. Back to the Future had it. So, today we are going to take a look at lead processing through the DeltaNet. So, we've done some videos on how you can go in and process leads in the past and kind of explain that process. But we've made some changes to the DeltaNet. The interface is getting a little bit different. We've made some updates. So we want to make sure that we go in and give you an updated video on how you can go about processing your leads. So first of all, we can process leads from the DeltaNet like this. So if I'm already logged in, for example, and a lead comes in, or if I see a lead comes in and I just log into my DeltaNet through whatever process I normally go to, I can go in and I can go to a page and I can find my new leads and I can process them from there. Alternatively, there will be a link in any of the notification emails I get. So if I get a new lead, I may get an email and I may also get a text message. When I do, those will contain a link that'll take me straight to the lead processing page for that lead. So I'll show you what page that'll land on as well. So first of all, from in the DeltaNet, the easiest way, generally in DeltaNet 6, to go in and process a lead is straight from your Agent Home dashboard page. So by default, when you log in, this is the page you'll land on. Or you can click on Dashboard over here in the left navigation, and that'll take you to this page as well. And if you scroll down here, now this page, the layout can actually be changed on a per company basis, but the vast majority of you will have a section on this page called My Leads. And usually it will be up a little bit higher. We had to scroll down a ways, but usually it'll be higher on the page as well. So from here, we can see by default all of the unprocessed requests we have. If we didn't have any, then it would actually show us just all the leads that have come in the last 7 days by default. But since we do have unprocessed leads, that's what it's going to show us here. And to process one, I really just click on it, and then it takes me into the interface to process it. Before we do that, just real quick, a few of these things. We can see here what kind of lead it is. So this one was created because a customer saved a home search on the website. This is an email request, so we have the envelope here. That would indicate that a customer came to the website and either filled out my contact form or they went to a detail page and filled out a request for more information on that page. And then we've got a little house here for a showing request. So that would indicate they went to a listing detail page and actually requested a showing for that listing. And then beyond that, if we have a single customer that comes in and makes multiple requests, there'll actually be a different icon that indicates that there are multiple requests attached to that lead. So when I click on it, I can process all the requests at once. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Now, we're going to go ahead and we'll pick one of these leads and we'll just process the request and see what it looks like. So if I just click on one, there we go. You can see it brings up, this one has a request up here, so property inquiry email. And if I expand that, you can see it gives me information about that one. So this one was actually showing up as an email request, though it did have multiple requests attached to it. So first we have our property inquiry email. We expand that request. We can see all the information here. So this is the property the request was on. Those are the comments that were left by the customer. And then we can expand this one as well, and we have a showing request. So here, this was a different property, I believe. Yep. So from a different listing detail page, this customer made a request on this property, and here's all the information about that listing and the request times that they suggested when they made that request. So we'll close that one out. Now the next thing I can see here is I can see the pipeline phase information. Now the nice thing about this is if this is a new customer coming in, I can automatically add them to my sales pipeline if the sales pipeline is turned on. So for example, I can see that we have a showing request and an email request. And if I take a look here, that's 230,000, 589,000, so that's quite a difference there, but we'll go with a higher one, right? Oh, I closed that out, so let's go back into it. There we go. Just had to find our way there. So our first one here, 589,000. So now we'll open up our pipeline info, and we know that this person requested information on a property that was $600,000 roughly, so or 590,000. So we'll say buying potential amount 590,000, and we can add them to the suspect phase. Now maybe I would add them to prospect. I mean, you're going to know, your pipeline phases and your customers better than I am, obviously. But this is a convenient way that you can put in their potential amount and add them directly to the pipeline phase right here from the request when you process it. So I'll put that in and I'll save that pipeline information. And you can see it indicates to me that that's saved. So now I have them added to my pipeline. So now we'll collapse that section. We'll open this one. So we have a notes section here. So if this was a customer that was already in my database or already in my CRM and I had left notes for them in the past, I'd be able to see those notes here because that can help me better understand how I want to fashion my reply, which will actually process this lead. I can also add a new note here. So if, for example, I grabbed their phone number and I called them, I could put a note here real quick. So we'll collapse that one, and now we'll open up history. And then history, this section's in here for roughly the same reason. So I can see things that this customer's done in the past, and that can help me better fashion my reply back to them. Now also, any of the requests they've made in here, anyone with an arrow, you can click on and that'll expand that section to give you details about that. So we see a showing request, we could expand that and see more information about that showing request. Though I will say these are just the requests that we're processing now. So in this case, this history is not as useful because we can already see that information up here. But if this was a long-standing customer, I'd be able to scroll through all their history and see, the correspondence we've had, the listings they've looked at, requests they've made in the past. So that can really help me better fashion my reply back to them. So now we'll collapse that section, and now we can determine exactly how we want to respond and process the lead. So if we click on this drop down, you can see we have an option for email. So that loads this up, and because the system knows that it was a showing request, it has some response templates pre-built for me, so I can click on those and populate my email, or I can write out an email from scratch and click on send, and that would process the lead. Now the other thing I can do is I can select phone. If they had provided a phone number, there would be a section here where I could click a button to display that number, and then the system would assume that I called the customer and also mark it as processed. And then lastly, we have an option for other. This option only exists if this is an existing customer that's not making their first request and the fee code attached to this customer meets some qualifications. And basically what it's saying is it's checking if the customer is one that I might already be working with, and therefore I might already have contact information for them. And then if I do, I have the ability of clicking this Mark as Processed button to indicate that I contacted this customer outside of the system somehow. So that is why this button is here. And that's also why it won't appear on every lead. So if this is a brand new lead, that is also a fee request that came in from the company or from the company website and was broadcast and accepted by me, it will likely not have this button. So there you go. Now in this case, just for convenience sake, I'll go ahead and click Mark as Processed. And there we go. So we've now processed that lead. We have a little bit of information about their contact information displayed out to us. And then a shortcut here that I can click on to go through to their profile page and then view all the details about this customer. Now from here, I can do everything I can do on this profile page. I can create tasks to follow up with them, save a search, save a market watch, even save listings or transactions for them. So I have all this information available to me here. So there we go. So that is the primary way, or the easiest way, to go in and process a lead when you're already in the DeltaNet, or when you log in and you actually go and find your leads that way. The second thing you can do is I can go to CRM, and I could either just click on CRM or I can click on Customer Center here. And you can see I have a process request section right up here at the top of this page. Now I can edit the layout on this page, so I could remove this section if I wanted to, move it to a different place, but by default it'll be right up here at the top. Because we want, to draw your attention to any unprocessed leads, so you can get in and take care of those first, because those are the things that most badly need your attention. So that is one way. Now the other way I can do it is I can go over to this leads page, and this will show me all of my unprocessed leads as well. So from here I can just click this View Lead button on any one of these. So we'll pick one at random here. And that takes me to this lead processing page. Now had I clicked Process this lead from the Customer Center, from that interface there, it would take me to this exact same page. Now once I'm here, just like the other page, it shows any requests or pending requests made by that customer. And I have that same notes section and that same history section here, so that it's easy for me to see any old notes or add any new notes, or also see their history and then use that information when it comes to drafting out my reply. Now in this case, this one didn't have a showing request, so you see we don't have any pre-built templates here, but if I were going to reply by email, I would just type out the information, hit send, and that would process our lead. Also, if they've left a phone number, I'll have this Get Phone Numbers button where I can get their phone number and call them, and that'll mark the lead as processed, or I can manually mark this one as processed as well. Now, if I had gotten an email or a text message notifying me of a new lead, and I were to just click the link in that message to take me into the DeltaNet, this is the page it would take me to. So I would land right here and have all this information at my disposal, and then go down here and process it however I choose. Now it'll be a very similar experience if you are processing a broadcast lead. So you're not really processing the lead right away. The email you get will actually be notifying you of the broadcast opportunity. And when you click on it, instead of taking you directly to this page, it'll take you to a page that allows you to accept or decline that lead. So that's all there is to it. You just either click on the link in the email or in your text message if you received one, or you can go into the DeltaNet, go directly to this leads page, or go to your Customer Center, either by clicking on CRM or clicking on Customer Center, or you can process leads directly from your dashboard from the interface that we looked at on this page in the My Leads section. So that's all there is to it. That marks your lead as processed, and at that point, you're free to follow any reminders you set up for them or any tasks you've set up to follow up with them in the future, add them to any campaigns, add them in any groups and segment them out properly so that you can kind of target your email communications to them, or set them up for an email or the MCFL campaign so that the system starts automatically corresponding with them on your behalf. So that's all there is to it. Thanks a lot for joining me. As always, if you have any comments, concerns, or questions, feel free to send an email into support@deltagroup.com or give us a call and we can help you through whatever you need. Thanks.